It started with Karen, the HOA president, fixating on my car. A beat-up but reliable sedan parked in my driveway, minding its own business, claiming it interfered with her grand plans for the neighborhood. Some vague nonsense about community needs. No one could decode, her voice shrill at the last meeting. "We need that car for HOA purposes." Met with blank stares and my flat refusal. Not happening. She didn't push then, just pursed her lips, eyes narrowing behind her designer glasses. But I knew Karen, queen of petty power plays, ruling our cul-de-sac like a fiefdom with fines for untrimmed hedges or wrong mailbox colors. This wasn't over, my gut tingling as I drove home. Her glare burned into me, a woman who'd twist rules till they snapped. Days later, letters started, absurd, escalating threats. $50 fines for unauthorized parking, then $100 for vehicular nuisance. Citing HOA bylaws my car didn't violate, my house just outside their jurisdiction, her desperation showing, my no a pebble in her polished shoe. I ignored them, tossing the notices in a drawer, figuring she'd tire out. But one night, unease prickled. Karen's pristine SUV idled outside my house, headlights off. Her silhouette hunched behind the wheel, waiting, watching my porch light catching her blonde bob as she glanced my way, then drove off slow, too deliberate, my pulse kicking up, something off. Later, past midnight, motion lights flared. There she was, sneaking across my driveway in yoga pants and a hoodie, no Starbucks scepter now, just a flashlight and a jangle of keys, my jaw dropping as she crouched by my car, fumbling at the lock, then sliding inside, engine sputtering as she tried to start it. Karen, HOA tyrant, stealing my car for her emergencies. Disbelief surging into fury, my phone already dialing 911. She's taking my car. Right now, adrenaline sharp as I watched her wrestle the ignition, oblivious to the trap closing. Police rolled up silent, lights off, two officers stepping out just as Karen got the engine to cough, her triumphant smirk visible through the windshield, until a flashlight beam hit her face, freezing her, that's her. Low as they approached, one knocking on the window, "Ma'am, step out," her head whipping around, panic flashing, then that fake smile. "Officer, this is a misunderstanding. I'm HOA president, this car, for community needs." The absurdity hitting the cop mid-sentence, his laugh barking loud. "You're stealing it for the HOA," her stammering. "It's an emergency vehicle." Drowned by his partner's chuckle, my arms crossed, watching her empire crack, tickets slapped for attempted theft and abuse of power. Her yoga pants retreating under their glare, my car safe, her scheme dust. Now Karen slinks past my house daily, eyes darting to my sedan, gleaming defiantly in the drive. Her nervous glances a trophy. I'm always watching, perched on my porch, coffee in hand, her letters stopped, her power chipped, the neighborhood whispering her flop. Tried to jack his car, cops laughed her out. My refusal a wall she can't climb, her community needs a joke she can't live down, the HOA quieter, my vigilance a shield. Her theft a scar she wears, my sedan a quiet victor. Parked where she'll never touch it, the night she crossed me a line she'll never uncross, my gaze her reminder. I won, she lost, and the car stays mine. Karen's ticket for attempted theft didn't kill her HOA crusade, just shifted it underground. Her nervous glances at my sedan turned sly, her blonde bob ducking behind hedges as she passed, my porch perch a watchtower, coffee cooling as I tracked her, the neighborhood buzzing with her flop. Caught red-handed, still struts like she owns us. Her community needs excuse a punchline, but her silence felt too heavy, my gut whispering she wasn't done. A week later, a new letter slid under my door. No stamp, just her looping scrawl. "Your vehicle remains a violation. Surrender it voluntarily or face consequences." No fine this time, just a veiled threat. My house still outside her HOA's grip. Her desperation sharpening, my no from that meeting a splinter she couldn't pull, her power bruised but not broken, my sedan a prize she wouldn't drop. The absurdity of her stealing it morphing into something darker. I rigged a camera, cheap, motion-triggered, angled at the drive. Its feed live on my phone, her midnight caper replaying in my head, keys jangling, engine sputtering, cops, laughter my shield, but her abuse of power ticket hadn't curbed her. It had stoked her, my refusal a gauntlet she'd run again, slyer now. That night the app pinged. 2 a.m., shadows shifting, Karen back in black, no flashlight, just a slim tool slipping into my car's lock, her breath puffing in the chill as she popped the door. My pulse spiking as I grabbed my phone, 911 on speed dial. She's at it again. Driveway now. her hunched form fumbling wires under the dash, hot wiring this time, engine growling as I bolted out, porch light flaring. "Karen, stop!" Her head snapping up, eyes wild, caught again. Tires squealing as she gunned it, my shout lost in the roar, cops too late, taillights fatting down the street. They found my sedan 2 blocks over, abandoned in a ditch, hood warm, Karen's hoodie snagged on the seat, Officer Daniels, same guy from before, shaking his head. "She's unhinged, HOA emergency, my ass." Dusting for prints, she's escalating, grim, his will get her, felony theft now. Cuffs ready, her ticket upgraded, my car scratched, but mine, her surrender it, note evidence, the neighborhood waking to sirens, whispers swelling. "She stole it again." Her rein teetering, my camera gold. Her slyness snared. Dawn broke Daniel's back, picked her up, house stank of bleach, denies it, but prints match, my grin tight. She thought she'd win. His not this time, court's next. Her glance as they hauled her off, pure venom, my sedan towed home, dented but defiant, her consequences a boomerang she'd catch, my watch unrelenting. Karen's strut faltered after that, court date set, felony theft looming, HOA murmurs turning on her. "She's nuts, carjacking for rules." My porch a fort, camera live, coffee bitter, her nervous peaks now flinches, my sedan parked bold, a taunt she couldn't touch, her community needs, a lie exposed. The night she crossed me twice, a chain she'd forged, my vigilance her cage. Neighbors waved. "You stopped her." My nod slow, her power crumbling, the HOA quieter, her theft a scar they'd heal, my car a flag she'd never claim, the cops laughter her echo, my refusal a wall she'd hit, her glance a reminder. I'd one she'd lost, and the sedan stayed mine, her sly grab a ruin I'd guard, always watching, her empire dust under my gaze. Karen's felony theft charge didn't silence her. It sharpened her edge, her court date a month off, her blonde bob still bobbing past my house. Eyes flicking to my scratched sedan with a mix of spite and hunger, my porch a bunker, camera feed live, coffee cold as I watched, her strut clipped but defiant, the neighborhood's whispers. She's cracked, stealing cars now. A tide she swam against, her community needs lie a ghost she clung to, my refusal a wound she'd claw open. Days after the ditch fiasco, a tow truck rumbled up. HOA logo slapped on the side, driver flashing a paper. "Repossessing for violations," my jaw locking as I snatched it. Forged, stamped with her scrawl, Pine Street HOA emergency asset seizure. My house still free of her grip, her slyness morphing to bold, my "this is fake, get off my land" met with his shrug. "Just following orders," my phone out. Cops now, another grab, her scheme unbowed, my sedan her obsession. Sirens wailed fast, Daniels again grinning as he climbed out. Karen's at it still. Tow guy paling, paper crumbling under scrutiny. "She said it's legal," Daniels laughed sharp. "She's a felon awaiting trial, try again." Cuffs gleaming, my camera catching it all, tow truck rolling off empty, my "she's desperate" grim, his "she's cooked" evidence piles, her forgery a noose tightening, the neighborhood peering out. HOA's a circus. Her rein wobbling, my sedan dented but mine. Her consequences a bluff I'd shred. That night the app pinged, 3 a.m., shadows darting, not Karen but a kid, spray can in hand. HOA property scrawling across my car, my shout. "Hey," scattering him, paint dripping, her proxies now, my 911 call swift. Vandalism, her orders, Daniels back by dawn, kid 16 flipped, Karen paid him, my grin cold. She's sinking, his trials her grave. Her glance from her porch venomous, my sedan a taunt she'd never take. Court loomed, Daniels update. Tow guy sang, kid 2, Karen's orchestrating from house arrest. Her prints on the forged tow order, paint can trace to her garage, felony theft, stacking with fraud, vandalism, my footage gold. HOA murmurs turning mutinous. "She's a crook out." My porch a tower, coffee bitter, her flinches growing, sedan parked proud, her community needs a joke imploding, the night she stole at a chain she'd forged, my vigilance her trap. Trial day hit, Karen in orange, smug mask cracked, my testimony calm. She tried twice, caught both. Footage rolling, her hot wiring, tow truck, kid spray, jurors gasping, her "it's for the HOA." Shrill, judge's gavel slamming, guilty, 3 years. Her glare at me ice, my nod steady, her abuse of power a shackle, sedan safe, her empire ash, neighbors cheering. She's gone. My win their win, her glance a memory I'd outlast. Karen's jail stint killed her strut. HOA ousted her, new board scrapping her rules, my sedan gleaming, dents buffed. A trophy she'd never touch, neighbors waving. "You broke her." My we did soft, her nervous peaks replaced by empty windows, her house for sale. Community needs a laugh we'd buried. The nights she crossed me scars she'd bear. My porch a perch, camera off, coffee warm. Her theft a ruin I'd guarded, always watching, till she fell. The cul-de-sac breathed free. Her letters dust, her power gone. My car a flag of defiance. Her sly grabs a tale we'd tell. Cops. Laughter her dirge, my refusal a route. Her glance a ghost. I'd won, she'd lost, and the sedan stayed mine. Her downfall a quiet harvest under my gaze. Corinne's 3-year sentence didn't erase her shadow. Her house sold fast, new owners scrubbing her rain, but whispers lingered in the cul-de-sac. She'll be back. My sedan gleaming, dents gone, a quiet taunt parked bold, my porch a lookout, coffee steaming as I scanned her empty lot. The HOA's new board dismantling her rules, refunding fines, her community needs a gag we'd outlived, yet her glare from that courtroom, ice and spite. Gnawed, a felon caged but not crushed, my vigilance a habit. Camera off but eyes sharp, her theft's a scar I'd guard. Days post-trial a note slipped through my mail slot, no stamp, her scrawl. You think you've won, I'll reclaim what's mine. My jaw tightening, postmarked from prison, her obsession unbowed, my sedan her fixation, the neighborhood. She's gone. A cheer I half believed, her consequences, a thread she'd pull even from a cell. I called Daniels. She's writing threats, prison mail. His grunt sharp, unhinged. She's got no play, but we'll log it. My she's scheming met with. She's locked, can't touch you. The note filed, her felony rap sheet growing. Theft, fraud, vandalism, my footage still gold, her proxies. The tow guy, the kid, flipped, HOA gutted her power, yet her reclaim, vow simmered, my sedan a prize she'd chase, sane or not, my porch perch steady, coffee cold, her empty house a ghost I watched. That week tires crunched, not her but Mr. Lyle, new board head. We're rewriting bylaws, your fight's why, join us. His handshake firm, my maybe slow. There no more Corinne's, a shield, my refusal a spark they'd fan, the cul-de-sac waking. Her community needs, ash, my sedan their flag, her glance a memory I'd outlast, Lyle. You broke her, a nod I shared, the fight ours now. Night fell, motion lights flared. A figure not Corinne but a man, toolbox in hand, prying at my car. Hood my shout, get off. Scattering him, tools clattering, my 911 call swift, sabotage now. Daniels rolling up, her husband parolee out last month. Cuffs snapping, my she sent him grim, his he's babbling Karen's orders. She's cooked. Prince matching, her prison note the link, felony conspiracy piling on. My sedan scratched anew but mine, her reclaim a boomerang. The neighborhood, she's insane. A roar, her empire dust, my porch a fort, coffee bitter, her proxies falling, sedan proud, her thefts a chain she'd forged, my watch her cage. Daniels grinned, she's buried 5 more years, her glance a venom I'd dodge, my win their win, cul-de-sac free, her abuse, a shackle she'd wear. Corinne's reach crumbled, husband locked, her sentence stretched, HOA bylaws reborn, no tyranny etched, Lyle. You're us sinking in, my sedan gleaming, a trophy she'd never touch, neighbors toasting, you stopped her. My we did firm, her nervous peaks a ghost, her house a stranger. Community needs a jest we'd buried, the nights she crossed me scars she'd bear, my porch a perch, camera off, coffee warm, her theft a ruin I'd guarded, always watching, till she sank. The cul-de-sac thrived. No letters, no grabs, her power ash, my car a root of defiance. Her sly schemes a tale we'd laugh off, cops chuckles her dirge, my refusal a wall, her reclaim a whisper I'd silenced. I'd won, she'd lost, and the sedan stayed mine, her downfall a harvest blooming under my gaze, the neighborhood's heart free, her ruin our strength, a quiet victory she'd never unmake. Spring thawed the cul-de-sac as I leaned on my porch railing, coffee steaming, my sedan gleaming fresh from a wax. Corinne's 5-year stretch, piled onto her 3, locking her deeper, her husband's sabotage flop adding conspiracy, her reclaim note a prison scribble that fueled it, Daniels, she's buried, a lock. Her Pine Street HOA a ghost gutted by Lyle's new board, bylaws rewritten. No tyranny carved in stone, my fight their root, her community needs a laugh we'd outgrown. Her house hummed with new voices, kids biking past, no nervous glances, her rain ash, yet her courtroom glare, spite sharp as ice, lingered, a felon's vow I couldn't shake, my sedan her obsession, my porch a perch, camera off, eyes keen, her thefts a scar I'd guard, the neighborhood. She's gone. A cheer I trusted halfway, her consequences, a thread she'd tug, sane or not, my vigilance a reflex now. Lyle rolled up, H.O. Throwing a block party, freedom fest, your win's the spark. Bring the car, his grin wide, my it's ours steady. There no more Karens, a wall, my refusal a fire they'd stoked, the cul-de-sac alive, her empty lot a stranger's joy, my sedan their flag, her reclaim a taunt I'd bury, his you broke her a bond, the fight shared. That night a clatter, my hood popped, gas line cut, my shout. Who, there, scattering a shadow, 911 dialed, sabotage again? Daniel's fast, her cousin parolee fresh out, cuffs snapping, my she's relentless grim, his he's singing, Karen's paying, she's toast. Her prison reach fraying, my sedan scratched, but mine, her consequences, a boomerang, neighbors peering, she's nuts. Her empire dust, my porch a fort, coffee cold, her proxies crumbling, sedan proud. Her thefts a chain she'd forged, my watch her noose. Court hit Daniel's update. Cousin flipped, Karen's smuggling orders via mail. Her prints on cash-stuffed envelopes, conspiracy stacking, my footage of her husband's try gold, her, it's mine. Shrill judges, 7 total a hammer, her glare at me venom, my nod calm, felony rap sheet sprawling. Theft, fraud, vandalism, sabotage, HOA ousting her final, my testimony. She won't stop, sealing it, jurors nodding, her abuse a shackle, sedan safe, her power ash, neighbors cheering. She's done. My win their win, cul-de-sac free, her reclaim a ghost I'd outlast. Daniels grinned. She's caged, no reach. Her glance a memory I'd dodge, freedom fest looming, my sedan the star, her ruin our route, a harvest I'd guard, always watching till she faded. Karen's grip snapped, cousin locked, her sentence maxed, HOA reborn Lyle. You're us firm, my sedan gleaming, a trophy she'd never touch, neighbors toasting, you killed her reign. My we did soft, her nervous peaks a shadow gone, her house alive with strangers. Community needs a jest we'd burned, the nights she crossed me scars she'd bear, my porch a perch, coffee warm, her theft a ruin I'd shielded, her proxies dust under my gaze. Freedom Fest hit, block party alive, my sedan parked proud, kids snapping pics Lyle. Your fight freed us a cheer, her consequences, a laugh we'd buried, her sly grabs a tale we'd tell, cops chuckles her dirge, my refusal a wall, her reclaim a whisper I'd crushed. I'd won she'd lost, and the sedan stayed mine, her downfall a bloom thriving in spring, the neighborhood's heart free, her ruin our strength. A quiet victory she'd never undo, my watch eternal, her empire a memory we'd grown. Summer sun baked the cul-de-sac as I sat on my porch, coffee steaming, my sedan polished to a mirror shine. Freedom Fest's echo still ringing. Kids had crowned it Karen's kryptonite. Lyle's plaque, for breaking the rain nailed to the community board, Karen's 7-year stretch a steel trap. Her cousin's flop and husband's bust piling on conspiracy, her reclaim, note a prison rant Daniels had framed, her Pine Street HOA a myth scrubbed clean, new bylaws a fortress, my fight their root. Her community needs a gag we'd torched. Her house buzzed with new life, lawn mowed, no nervous glances, her rain ash, yet her courtroom snarl, venom sharp clung, a felon's oath I couldn't scrub, my sedan her fixation, my porch a tower, camera off, eyes honed, her thefts a scar I'd shield the neighborhood. She's buried. A roar I half-trusted, her consequences, a thread she'd yank, mad or not, my vigilance a pulse now. Lyle swung by, Fest's annual now your car. The mascot. HOA's refunding her fines, your push did it. His grin broad, my hours firm, there no more Karen's a vow, my refusal ablaze they'd fanned, the cul-de-sac thriving, her lot a stranger's laugh, my sedan their banner, her reclaim a taunt I'd crush. His you snapped her a tie, the fight ours. That night headlights flared, not her, but a pickup, 2 guys in hoods, crowbar prying my car's door, my shout. Get out! Scattering one, the other tripping, my 911 call crisp. Break in now! Daniel's fast, her nephew's out-of-towners, cuffs snapping, my she's endless tight, his they're spilling, Karen's cash she's done. Her prison grip slipping, my sedan dented but mine, her consequences a boomerang, neighbors gawking. She's crazy! Her empire dust, my porch a fort, coffee cold. Her proxies folding, sedan bold, her thefts a chain she'd forged, my watch her snare. Court struck Daniel's call. Nephews flipped, Karen's smuggling bribes via laundry. Her prints on cash rolls, conspiracy ballooning, my footage of her kin gold, her it's mine. A shriek, judges 10 total, a gavel's crack, her glare at me poison, my nod cool, felony list sprawling. Theft, fraud, vandalism, sabotage, bribery, HOA erased her name, my she's relentless sealing it, jurors wincing, her abuse a yoke, sedan safe, her power ash, neighbors roaring. She's finished. My win their win, cul-de-sac free, her reclaim a ghost I'd outrun. Daniels laughed. She's sunk, no strings. Her glance a venom I'd sidestep, Freedom Fest's plaque gleaming, my sedan the heart, her ruin our route, a harvest I'd guard, always watching till she vanished. Coren's reach died, nephews locked, her sentence maxed, HOA reborn Lyle. You're us deep, my sedan shining a prize she'd never touch, neighbors cheering, you ended her. My we did quiet, her nervous peaks a shadow burned, her house a stranger's joy. Community needs a jest we'd raised, the nights she crossed me scars she'd carry, my porch a perch, coffee warm, her theft a ruin I'd fenced, her proxies dust under my gaze. Summer hummed, block party alive, my sedan parked proud, kids chanting kryptonite. Lyle. Your stand freed us a toast, her consequences a laugh we'd buried, her sly grabs a tale we'd spin, cops chuckles her requiem, my refusal a wall, her reclaim a whisper I'd smashed. I'd won, she'd lost, and the sedan stayed mine, her downfall a bloom thriving in heat, the neighborhood's heart free, her ruin our strength. A quiet victory she'd never unweave, my watch eternal, her empire a memory we'd outshone. Fall leaves swirled across the cul-de-sac as I leaned on my porch, coffee steaming, my sedan waxed sharp under the amber sun. Freedom Fest's second run a week past. Kids had draped it with a Coren Slayer banner, Lyle's plaque now etched with year one. Coren's 10-year cage a steel vault, her nephew's bust-ceiling bribery. Her reclaim note a prison scrawl Daniels pinned to his board, her Pine Street HOA a fable erased, new bylaws ironclad, my fight their spine. Her community needs a snort we'd stomped. Her house glowed with new paint, no nervous glances, her rain ash, yet her courtroom hiss. I'll reclaim, stuck, a felon's curse I couldn't shake, my sedan her madness, my porch a watchpost, camera off, eyes keen, her thefts a scar I'd fend, the neighborhood. She's dead. A shout I half bought, her consequences, a thread she'd tug, broken or not, my vigilance a beat now. Lyle dropped by, HOA's clean, fines gone, your stand's law, fest your legacy. His grin wide, my hours steady. There no more Coren's a creed, my refusal a torch they'd carried, the cul-de-sac poolsing, her lot a stranger's warmth, my sedan their shield, her reclaim a taunt I'd snuff. His you crushed her a knot, the fight ours. That night a clang, my car's hood up, fuel pump yanked my roar. Who's there? Scattering a figure, flashlight dropped, my 911 call swift. Sabotage now. Daniel's quick, her brother ex-con just paroled. Cuff snapping, my she's endless grim, his he's talking, Karen's cut, she's sunk. Her prison reach fraying, my sedan scarred but mine, her consequences a boomerang, neighbors peering. She's lost it. Her empire dust, my porch a fort, coffee cold, her proxies buckling. Sedan proud, her thefts a chain she'd forged, my watch her trap. Court slammed, Daniel's update. Brother flipped, Coren's funneling cash via visits. Her prints on smuggled bills, conspiracy swelling, my footage of her kin gold, her it's mine. A wail judges 12 total, a gavel's thud, her glare at me hate, my nod calm, felony pile towering. Theft, fraud, vandalism, sabotage, bribery, HOA scrubbed her shadow. My she won't quit sealing it, jurors grimacing, her abuse a fetter, sedan safe, her power ash, neighbors howling. She's toast. My win their win, cul-de-sac free, her reclaim a ghost I'd outpace. Daniel smirked. She's dry, no pull. Her glance a venom I'd duck, Freedom Fest's banner waving, my sedan the core, her ruin our route, a harvest I'd guard, always watching till she faded. Coren's grip snapped, brother locked, her sentence maxed, HOA reborn Lyle. You're us firm, my sedan gleaming a prize she'd never touch, neighbors roaring, you buried her. My we did soft, her nervous peaks a shadow torched, her house a stranger's light. Community needs a jest we'd raised, the night she crossed me scars she'd haul, my porch a perch, coffee warm, her theft a ruin I'd fenced, her proxies dust under my gaze. Fall hummed, block party alive, my sedan parked bold, kids chanting Slayer. Lyle. Your fight saved us a cheer, her consequences a laugh we'd buried, her sly grabs a tale we weave, cops chuckles her requiem, my refusal a wall, her reclaim a whisper I'd smashed. I'd won, she'd lost, and the sedan stayed mine, her downfall a bloom thriving in crisp air, the neighborhood's heart free, her ruin our strength. A quiet victory she'd never unravel, my watch eternal, her empire a memory we'd outshone. Winter frost glazed the cul-de-sac as I stood on my porch, coffee steaming, my sedan sparkling under a thin ice sheen, Freedom Fest's second banner. Karen Slayer Year 2. Faded in the shed, Coren's 12-year sentence a steel tomb, her brother's sabotage flop stacking bribery, her reclaim note a prison scribble Daniels mocked, Her Pine Street HOA a myth burned out, new bylaws a bulwark, my fight their backbone, her community needs a scoff we'd crushed. Her house twinkled with new lights, no nervous glances, her rain ash, yet her courtroom snarl. I'll reclaim, echoed, a felon's hex I couldn't shed, my sedan her lunacy, my porch a sentinel, camera off, eyes piercing, her thefts a scar I'd fend the neighborhood. She's gone, a roar I half-trusted, her consequences a thread she'd pull, mad or not, my vigilance a rhythm now. Lyle cruised up. HOA's solid, no trace of her. Fest your mark, sedan's ours. His grin broad, my hours firm. They're no more Karens a pact, my refusal a flame they'd fueled. The cul-de-sac thriving, her lot a stranger's cheer, my sedan their emblem, her reclaim a taunt I'd kill. His you ended her, a tie, the fight ours. That night a crunch, my car's window smashed, alarm blaring, my shout. Get out! Scattering a shadow, glove dropped, my 911 call sharp. Break in now! Daniel swift, her sister out on bail, cuff snapping, my she's relentless tight, his she's spilling, Karen's deal, she's done. Her prison reach snapping, my sedan cracked but mine, her consequences a boomerang, neighbors gaping. She's mad. Her empire dust, my porch a fort, coffee cold, her proxies falling, sedan bold. Her thefts a chain she'd forged, my watch her doom. Court crashed, Daniel's call. Sister flipped, Karen's bribing through calls. Her voice on tapes, conspiracy ballooning, my footage of her kin gold, her it's mine. A howl, judges 15 total, a gavel slam, her glare at me rage, my nod cool, felony heap sprawling. Theft, fraud, vandalism, sabotage, bribery, HOA erased her ghost. My she's endless sealing it, jurors flinching, her abuse a yoke, sedan safe, her power ash, neighbors bellowing. She's finished. My win their win, cul-de-sac free, her reclaim, a specter I'd outrun. Daniels grinned. She's broke, no reach. Her glance a venom I'd skip, Freedom Fest's banner stowed, my sedan the soul, her ruin our route, a harvest I'd guard, always watching till she dissolved. Karen's grasp died, sister locked, her sentence maxed, HOA reborn Lyle. You're us deep, my sedan gleaming a prize she'd never touch, neighbors roaring, you slayed her. My we did quiet, her nervous peaks a shadow raised, her house a stranger's glow. Community needs a jest we'd torched. The nights she crossed me scars she'd bear, my porch a perch, coffee warm, her theft a ruin I'd fenced, her proxies dust under my gaze. Winter hummed, block party planned, my sedan parked proud, kids chanting Slayer. Lyle. Your stand freed us a toast, her consequences a laugh we'd buried, her sly grabs a tale we'd spin, cops chuckles her dirge, my refusal a wall, her reclaim a whisper I'd smashed. I'd won, she'd lost. And the sedan stayed mine, her downfall a bloom thriving in frost, the neighborhood's heart free, her ruin our strength. A quiet victory she'd never undo, my watch eternal, her empire a memory we'd outshone, frost sealing the yield.